A woman doesn't lose you when you leave. She loses you when your silence no longer waits for her at the door. This is the paradox most men overlook. As long as she felt she had your attention, your belief, and your emotions, she felt untouchable. She could play the game of control without fear. But when that control begins to slip, when she realizes your silence is no longer temporary, when she notices you no longer wait for her as you used to, the mask begins to crack. Outwardly, she might laugh, post pictures, or pretend she's enjoying her freedom. But deep inside, she lives in panic. Because a woman thrives on certainty, the certainty that you'll chase her, that you'll compromise, that you'll break. And when that certainty vanishes, her behavior starts to change in ways her words will never admit. And here, my brother, you must sharpen your eyes. Because once you recognize the true signs of what happens when a woman truly realizes she's lost you, her mask will never deceive you again. The first mask she wears when she knows she's lost you isn't sadness or regret. It's cold indifference laced with anger. She'll lift her chin high, act as if you don't exist, and say things like, "I don't care what he does," or "He was never that important anyway." On the surface, it might seem convincing, as if she's moved on. But here's the truth. Someone who truly doesn't care doesn't need to announce it. Loud indifference isn't a sign of freedom, it's a sign of inner turmoil. This is where many men fall into the trap. You see her coldness and think, maybe she never noticed me. Maybe everything I gave was in vain. That voice grows inside you until you start doubting your own worth. But stop right there. Her indifference isn't strength, it's armor. She's trying to protect her pride from the emptiness she feels. Her harsh tone, her arrogant behavior, her inflated ego, these aren't reflections of your lack of value, but desperate attempts to hide the pain of loss. Imagine this scene. 2 days after the breakup, she posts a smiling photo at dinner, surrounded by friends with a caption like, "New beginnings." Your chest tightens as you watch her and wonder, is she really happier without me? But what you don't see is the night that follows. The way she lies in bed scrolling through your profile, watching to see if you noticed or reacted. The truth is simple. That smile is just a performance for the world. But her silence afterward reveals what's truly happening inside. Her act of indifference is nothing but anger. Anger because she couldn't break your silence. Anger because she sees you moving on faster than she expected. This is the hidden struggle. She can't admit to herself that she's lost you, so she hides behind a mask of coldness. Yet the more she tries to wear this mask, the more it betrays her, exposing her anxiety, her turmoil, and her sense of loss. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes your shield. Don't take her actions as reality. Don't feed her performance with your attention. Understand this. When someone insists, "I don't care," it usually means they care more than they're willing to admit. Your response isn't to argue, justify yourself, or try to prove your worth. Your response is silence. A deep, steady, unshaken silence. A silence that doesn't scream or beg, but stands firm. That silence isn't emptiness, it's your fortress. And when you remain calm, you witness the storm without being swept away. You affirm the deepest truth. Her indifference wasn't about you. It was about her pride. And this, my brother, is only the beginning. Because when indifference fails to protect her, she doesn't stop there. She searches for new ways to test whether she still matters to you. This marks the next phase, testing your reaction. When the mask of indifference no longer shields her pride, she resorts to something more subtle, tests. They may seem simple at first, but they're calculated. A sudden message after weeks of silence. "Do you still have my coat?" A social media post featuring a man barely in the frame, but she knows you'll see it. Or a mutual friend casually mentioning, "She was asking about you." Nothing about this is random. These are threads she throws to see if you'll catch them. The pain here is real. You've spent weeks rebuilding yourself, regaining your strength, balancing your emotions, and suddenly she stirs the waters again. Your mind starts racing. Should I respond? Should I prove I'm fine? Should I show her she no longer matters to me? But here lies the trap. No matter how clever your reply, the mere act of responding means you're still orbiting her. Your reaction gives her the proof she craves, that she still affects you. Imagine yourself as a still pond. She throws a pebble to see if you'll ripple. If you do, she knows you're still affected. But if you remain calm, your surface only reflects her face. And that unsettles her more than anything. Because silence isn't absence, it's power. As her frustration grows, her tests may escalate. She might suddenly pretend to be vulnerable, sharing feelings she never mentioned before, just to trigger your protective instinct and pull you back. Or she might provoke a trivial argument, probing your weak spots to break your silence. Why? Because even anger, to her, means she still exists in your world, but silence tells her she no longer does. And that's what terrifies her most. This is where clarity becomes your weapon. These tests aren't signs of reconciliation. They're desperate attempts to regain control. The solution isn't a clever reply. It's refusing to play the game at all. Recognize the test, smile inwardly, and keep walking. The truth is simple. She doesn't test because she's moved on. She tests because she hasn't. And the man who remains calm delivers the greatest lesson. Peace cannot be provoked. And when your peace can't be provoked, she reveals the next mask. Louder, more theatrical, because her need to prove she's fine without you grows stronger. This begins the stage of performance. False happiness and competitive energy. When calmness fails to lure you back, she turns to noise. Suddenly her accounts flood with photos, trips, nights out, new faces you've never seen, captions like freedom, a new chapter, or I've never been happier. At first it seems convincing. You watch her laugh with another man, and a sharp question pierces you. Was I that easy to replace? That question alone can torment even the strongest man because it touches your deepest fear, that you weren't enough. But remember this, true happiness doesn't need an audience. It lives in silence, in moments no camera captures. The louder someone tries to prove their happiness, the more fragile it truly is. Her need to broadcast her new life isn't proof she's moved on. It's the opposite. Because if she had truly moved on, you wouldn't know a thing about it. Here the inner conflict begins. You compare your quiet growth in the shadows to her public performance. And you think you're losing because she seems to be winning. But this competition is just another mask. She doesn't post to celebrate life. She posts to control the narrative. Her message is simple. I'm better off without him. But if that were true, she wouldn't need to repeat it. The very act of performing is proof of the opposite. So don't compete. Don't measure your healing by her standards. Your growth doesn't need applause, likes, or labels. It lives in your discipline, your silence, your progress that asks for no witness. Her need for validation is her weakness. Your refusal to play the game is your strength. And when you stop watching her results, the game ends. When you no longer care about her performance, the stage lights go out. She suddenly realizes her show has no audience. And the silence that follows haunts her more than any silence from you. That's when the act begins to crack, because the mask of happiness can't last long before the next one appears. Guilt and indirect manipulation. When smiles and stage performances fail to move you, she turns to another weapon. Guilt. A midnight message. After everything we shared, you moved on this quickly? Or a mutual friend says, she mentioned you've changed a lot. These words may sound like remnants of love, but they're not. They're carefully designed traps to pull you back into her frame. Guilt isn't an expression of care. It's a tool of control. And this is where many men fall, because guilt's powerful. It makes you wonder, was I too harsh? Did I give up too soon? Did I surrender before I should have? These questions gnaw at you from within and weaken the foundation of strength you've built. But remember this truth. You gave, you stood, you carried the burden until your hands bled. And if she was the one who let go while you were still holding on, that's not your sin. It's her choice. Her guilt isn't about your integrity, it's about her loss of control. As pressure mounts, she may enlist others, family, mutual friends, or vague social media posts promoting her version of the story. Suddenly, it seems the whole world is whispering her tale, not yours. You feel the urge to defend yourself, to justify your actions, to explain who you really are. But this is the trap. The moment you defend yourself, you've re-entered her world. And that's exactly what she wants. The solution is clarity. Guilt isn't love. Love sets you free. Guilt binds you. Love lifts you. Guilt suffocates you. A man who knows his truth doesn't argue about it. He lives it. He doesn't need to convince anyone, because his actions speak louder than any accusation. So let her guilt and manipulation pass through you like smoke. Smoke can't choke you unless you stand still and inhale it. Keep moving forward, and it will vanish into the air. The day you stop reacting to guilt is the day you cut the last thread of control she has over you. And when that thread snaps, she'll be forced to seek another mask, another weapon. And when guilt no longer works, she turns to her softest tool, nostalgia and memories. When guilt can't reach you, she resorts to something that seems less like manipulation and more like tenderness. Longing. It arrives as an old photo or a midnight message. Do you remember when we, or a sarcastic meme only the two of you understand? At first, this thread tugs gently at your heart. You feel as if she's rediscovering the beauty of what you once shared. But my brother, you must see this with absolute clarity. At this stage, nostalgia isn't love. It's a strategy. The danger in nostalgia is its deception. It beautifies your memory, draping softness over the coldness, the silence, and the harsh words that once wounded you. Suddenly, you no longer remember the insult. You remember the laugh you shared in the car on a rainy night, the way she held your hand when you were afraid, or the small rituals that once felt sacred. And in the fog of these memories, a quiet question slips in. Can we go back? That's the trap, because she's not reliving those moments to cherish them. She's escaping a painful present that no longer includes you. The conflict deepens when she mixes nostalgia with regret. She might say, I didn't know your worth back then. These words pierce your core because they resemble the acknowledgement you longed to hear when you walked away. But timing is everything. Regret spoken after your emotions have detached isn't confession. It's a desperate attempt. She's not discovering your worth for the first time. She's realizing she's lost it. Here, your heart must hold firm. Honor the past, but don't let it chain you. Yes, those moments were real and meaningful, but they're not tickets back to yesterday. You're no longer the man who lived those memories. You've evolved, matured, and walked toward a future that the past can no longer contain. The truth is simple and liberating. Nostalgia isn't an invitation to return. It's proof of how far you've come. Her need to lean on the past means the present now belongs to you. And when you truly grasp that, you stop looking back and realize the past is a closed chapter. And you're now writing a greater one. This deepens her fear. Because if nostalgia can't bring you back, she has only one weapon left: jealousy and curiosity. The more your silence solidifies, the more unshakable your distance becomes. The more jealousy creeps into her heart. She begins to wonder obsessively, who replaced me so easily after I was the center? She asks mutual friends subtle, seemingly innocent questions. She checks your accounts at midnight, searching for a thread, a hint. Sometimes she breaks her own silence with a message that appears harmless. Seen anyone lately? But don't confuse this with genuine interest. This isn't care, it's fear. Fear of being replaced, fear of being forgotten. And here an inner sting arises. Part of you wants her to feel jealous, to know what it feels like to lose something precious. But another quiet, hesitant part wonders, does she still feel she has a claim on me? This inner conflict is what trips up many men, because jealousy wrapped in curiosity can mimic care. But it's not love, it's possession. It's her way of saying, I need to be sure you can't thrive without me. The conflict intensifies when she sees you're truly fine, when she notices another woman admiring you, or sees you calmer and stronger than before. Her pride burns. Pride can't bear to watch someone it once controlled move forward without them. And then her jealousy turns into hidden poison, a joke laced with insult, a backhanded compliment, or a comment meant to diminish you. These aren't signs of love. They're signs of wounded ego. Your remedy here is discipline. Don't feed her jealousy with a reaction. Don't confirm or deny. Don't explain or justify. Let her wonder. Because the power of your absence multiplies when she can't place you in a defined box. The man she once knew is no longer predictable, and that uncertainty is where her doubts grow. The core truth is this: her jealousy isn't about you. It's her internal struggle with a bitter reality. She wasn't irreplaceable, as she once believed. And when you stand your ground and choose yourself over the fear of losing her, you teach her the ultimate lesson. You're no longer governed by the possibility of someone new, because you've built a life that doesn't need her shadow. And that truth hurts more than anything, because when you don't flinch at jealousy, she's forced to face real regret for losing you. 7. Regret and silent longing. At this stage, the noise begins to fade. The frequent posts, the hidden jabs, the provocations, they disappear. In their place comes silence. Not the silence of healing, but the silence of realization. She stops testing. She stops performing false happiness, yet you still feel her shadow lingering. You notice your stories are viewed the moment you post them. Your updates are quietly followed. Outwardly, she still insists she's fine, that she's moved on, but inside she's haunted. Here lies your challenge, my brother. Understand her silence without being pulled into it. In a moment of weakness, you might wonder, does she still care? Will she ever admit it? These doubts may creep into your mind, tempting you to break the silence you built with so much effort. But remember this well: her regret wasn't born because you returned after she left. It was born because you didn't. Her silent longing stems from realizing that the man she once took for granted is now untouchable. Inside her, two opposing forces clash: admiration for your new strength and despair that she no longer has access to it. She won't say this in words, but you'll see it in her eyes if you meet by chance, in the hesitation of her voice, in the silence that carries more than 1,000 sentences. That silence is the sound of loss. Your remedy is to embrace your evolution. Don't slow your path to ease her burden. Don't soften your silence to comfort her pride. Keep walking with steadiness, because the moment you disrupt your rhythm, you give her the confirmation she seeks, that she still holds power over you. But when you move forward with calm confidence, you show her your life no longer revolves around her presence. The conclusion here is astonishing. Her regret and longing aren't signs of your failure. They're proof of your maturity. The man she now watches from afar is no longer the one she once controlled or hurt. This new distance between you is her burden, not yours. And when her longing turns into respect tinged with regret, the final mask falls, leading her to a stage she never expected: surrender. 8th, final surrender and respect. Every cycle, no matter how long, ends in its own exhaustion. The tests vanish, the games collapse, the performances of fake happiness dry up. What remains isn't another act, but stillness. Not stillness because she's healed, or because she no longer cares, but because it's become clear the door is closed forever. Sometimes she makes one last attempt. Soft words like, "Maybe we could meet and talk honestly," or "Wasn't there something real between us?" But even as she says it, she feels the emptiness in her own words. Those words no longer carry the same power, because the force that once fueled them has vanished. Here, many men make a mistake. They see this final softness and think, maybe this is my second chance. Maybe she truly regrets it now. But my brother, you must discern the truth. Closure that comes after losing control isn't healing. It's a tactic. She's not trying to fix the past. She's searching for the tiniest crack in your armor to slip through. She hasn't resolved her inner conflicts because she found peace. She's been forced into it. She hasn't stopped trying because she moved on. She's realized she can no longer reach you. And here, you enter the highest level of your strength. True strength isn't in revenge or proving her wrong or competing in illusions with her. True strength is peace, deep peace that makes her presence or absence irrelevant to your inner balance. And here lies the simple, profound ending. The balance of power has shifted forever. She no longer controls the rhythm of your heart. You now control yourself. And this is the essence of Stoicism. Freedom you earn when external forces no longer define your worth. So remember this truth, my brother. The greatest revenge isn't jealousy or proving you've surpassed her or even outdoing her. The greatest revenge is living well, so well that her absence becomes a footnote in your story, not the climax. It's building a life so grounded in purpose, discipline, and inner peace that her attempts to re-enter it feel like echoes from a world you've already left behind. You don't need to announce your victory. Your silence, your consistency, and your unshaken calm speak louder than any words ever could. And in that quiet strength, you reclaim not just your freedom, but your dignity. The greatest revenge is peace, because peace is the one thing she can never break, never imitate, and never forget about the man she lost. And one day when she looks back, the silence that once frightened her will turn into respect. Respect for the man who didn't just leave, but rose so high she could never reach him again. And there, her story ends. But yours, my brother, begins here. You've now seen the full cycle, how a woman truly behaves when she realizes she's lost you. From hidden anger disguised as indifference, to testing your reactions, to fake happiness and competitive energy, through guilt, nostalgia, jealousy, and regret, until she reaches final surrender. Each stage differs in appearance, but all point to one truth. Power has shifted. She no longer controls you. You now control yourself. And only there do you live your true freedom. Not in chasing, not in justifying, not in proving you've won. Your freedom lies in rising above the storm, in choosing calm when the whole world tries to provoke you. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Not to her, but to yourself.